time to beat is Nick Gilas, and it seems those three cars are going to go ahead and skip qualifying. They're going to start in the back, which means Nick Gilas is your pole sitter. Let's go ahead and pull him up into the booth. Nick, this is Noah up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, Nick, you go out here and you just set the pole coming off of what was an eventful prelude at Daytona race last week. Where's your confidence level into this 96 lapper?
Extremely high. I fucking love Daytona, so, let's go.
All right, and approximately how many teammates do you believe you are working with today, or are you flying solo?
I believe I got one team car, but I've got a few, we'll say Dale Jr. to Tony Stewart-esque partners, other teams that I don't mind working with, and we'll see what we can get out of it. So,
Artie, thank you so much, Nick. We're going to send you down. Have some fun today.
Absolutely.
Here they come out of turn 4 down the short chute now. Nick Gilas, Paul Krumrie, starting on the front row for this Daytona. Absolute banger of a race you guys are going to see. And the pace car pulls off. The drivers will have to wait till the green flag. And now we are underway. And the very first lap of the next era Grand National Racing Series is a go. And immediately, Paul Krumrie, Nick Gilas, door to door. Here they go into turns 1 and 2. That's Nick Gilas up top, getting a push from the 14 car of Jacob Gladlick. To the bottom, Paul Krumrie has about half a car length to a car length out with the advantage. John Schonebachler right behind him. And as they go down the backstretch, look at the 88 of Brady Moe to the bottom of your screen. Big dive to the bottom. All these cars trying to funnel into the preferred line, trying to see where the momentum is going, sticking with the air, getting a good draft. But here is the battle for the lead. They're still about even, but it looks like Paul Krumrie does have the advantage. And as they come out of turn 4, down the short chute, all 21 cars stacked up together. And it's going to be Nick Gilas who leads the first lap. Down the first short chute, into turns 1 and 2, the 20 car out by a car length. He has enough room to be able to move to the bottom, but he's going to elect to hold the outside. He gets put 3 wide middle. It seemed like he had to jump out of line, and that's the 14 of Jacob Gladdick, who's going to make it up the middle, getting a push from Chris Snyder, and that third lane is not going to form. Nick is going to drop most likely all the way to the rear end of the field, and that's going to allow Paul Krumrie to be your leader. Paul Krumrie still holding the bottom line. KFC car number 40 of John Schlombacher right behind him. And that outside line is starting to dissipate just a little bit. Joe Houston still has a little bit of speed up there. And actually, that outside line has more cars than the bottom, but they cannot get as organized. They're kind of all over the place. We see the 14 of Jacob Gladdick jump to the outside. 3 wide top. And it might just work. That's going to cause Joe Houston to just fall back a little bit. And the 14 car might have the advantage. It's still a little awkward 3 wide because all of a sudden the 14 car ends up hung out to dry with Brady Motes. And that middle line is going to reform. And now we have 3 wide racing all the way through the field. And look at the 32 car. I believe that is James Dewar. He jumps into the middle and he's trying to build himself a run going for that lead. But as soon as he did that, it seems like the momentum died. And the 32 of James Dewar is now running up on Paul Krumrie. Can he get enough of a pull around the 96 car to go to the lead? It looked like he went to side draft just a hair there, but couldn't quite get the car down where it needed to be, but still has the advantage as they go down the backstretch. He doesn't quite have him full clear. Paul is still at the corner. When they go into turns 3 and 4, you'll see him get just about even, so it's all about where the 32 car puts himself to be able to side draft the 96. As you can see, Paul Krumrie kind of gets a little bit down on the apron, pitches the car sometimes. It can get you sideways. He needs to be aware of where he's putting those left side tires. But that is going to allow James Dewar to take the lead. James in that 32 car does lead a lap, and just behind him, Joe Houston and Chris Snyder trying to get that outside line moving and get that at advantage. And just for a second, it looked like James Dewar had the advantage and had him clear, but that inside line is still battling back. Keeps it collected, but look what that did, that outside line, and look at the rest of the field as they get spread out from the rest of the pack. then it's not what you want to see, and that's going to cause a disturbance, and you can already see that outside line paying the price as the 32 James Dewar falls back, and it begins to look like we almost have a second pack forming unintentionally. The 40 car of John Schlongbach is going to jump to the lead, to the outside. Oh, it's a big crash. They all junk each other. Paul Krumrie, 32 and James Dewar, Jared Mayo in the wall. The 40 car with damage. The 88 of Brady Moats is upside down. Caution is out. Or not the 88. Sorry, who what? I don't know who that was upside down. A couple of cars having to cut through the grass here. Jared Mayo, Timothy Harper with damage. Paul Krumrie, Gordon Spain. It was the 38 AC Delco car we saw upside down. Gets right side back up. Where he goes from this is crucial. And oh, the 32 might have gotten tagged by the 38. And that's going to cause a massive wreck. The 22 on his side. Matthew Heel gets dumped in front. Jared Mayo contact. Car still wrecking well after the caution was thrown. Let's go ahead and get a cockpit view of the 38 as that went down. It's the 38 of Gordon Spain, the car we saw go upside down on the back of the 32. This is where the trouble is. The 32 just goes down the track, not quite sure how. 38 spun upside down. That's a scary sight. A bunch of cars right there in your windshield. And he is just going to skate down to the end. How does he? And the car flips itself back over. That's really clean. Kind of reminds me of Kyle Busch, I believe it would have been at Talladega a handful of years ago. Absolutely astonishing crash there. Matthew running about center pack when this wreck happened. You see the 38 is in front of him. Nowhere to go. Tries to save, and I believe he does get caught here. Minimal damage to that 53 machine. Fix some of that damage. He'll be back rolling. It's still in contention. 12 cars in frame out of the 20 car field are starting with the pack on this restart. And look how many cars at the tail end of the field for damage. Only 3 cars on the outside line as we go back green. Jeff Hollingsworth. Good push from Joe Houston, but look at Charles Woods. Good run on that outside. We'll see what he'll be able to do as they go in the turns 1 and 2. Outside line still pretty weak. But these cars are still getting up to speed. It looks like the field is going to get a little more filled out. As I understand, there are cars exiting pit road right now. Oh, and guess what? iOverlay finally just sent me the incident reports for that wreck. Thank you so much, iOverlay. You're amazing. Good thing we mainly already went through and looked at all the replays. But in the meantime, Charles Woods is going to get down in front of Jeff Hollingsworth. And Charles Woods is now your leader, but already look at Spencer Burton on that outside. Big push from Brady Moats, and they are going to go to the lead. Spencer Burton, the 11-car new leader. Brady Moats right behind him, and getting a good push. Michael Hall with Nick Gielask, and they are all going to drop down. Brady Moats crosses up Spencer Burton, gets down low. Brady made the move that the 11 car of Spencer Burton was not ready for, and Brady Moats is now your leader with help of Michael Hall. Has some help from Jeff Hollingsworth. 88 of Brady Moats goes up to block. 4-car Michael Hall gets turned by Charles Woods. Around in the wall they go. Chris Snyder, Charles Woods, Michael Hall around. Look at Chris Snyder having to cut through the grass. That's going to be the caution. Michael Hall, heavy contact with the wall, damage all around that vehicle. They get a run. They're getting a good push. Brady Moats makes a clean block. That block is clean, but it looks like Jeff Hollingsworth got into the 98, and they actually went up and collected the 33 of Ricky Barbary. As far as I understand, Jeff Hollingsworth is a teammate of the 98, so he's going to go wherever he goes. He's going to try to give him a push. They get a big run. Oh, the 98 slows up, comes down. It looked like a weird mix because when you're angling it to the corner, you expect the 97 of Hollingsworth to want to turn left. But if Charlie Woods is expecting there to be room, he does go down. Charlie Woods on pit road Let's watch it from his perspective again. Watch his move to the outside. He gets a run. Brady Motes makes the block. He makes contact, lifts, and I think the bumpers just kind of connect there. That's very unfortunate. And we'll do another restart. This time, Michael Good in command. League owner to his outside. That's Christian Snyder in the 24 machine. Joe Husson in the all-black car, the number 3. And the 97, Jeff Hollingsworth to his outside. See Brady Motes, the 88's checking up. He still has to serve that EOL. Here comes Matthew Heel. That's I believe the 33 car of Ricky Barbary.
Green.
Heavy damage on the front end, but we are back of green here at Daytona. Michael Good retains the lead. Christian Snyder falls in behind him, 19 still. To the good, holding the bottom line. And hopefully these cars kind of settle out a little bit. Jeff Hollingsworth still trying to battle on that outside line. He's kind of left to dry. There goes the 32 machine of James Dewar. Going to help him out, get that outside line forming. And Matthew Magic Hill jumps to be the third card in line. And now we might have a little bit of a race for the lead once again. As Jeff Hollingsworth gets a good run down the backstretch. Within a few laps, might just be right up there with the leader if they could get a little bit more help. That outside line still dysfunctional, leaving Michael Good to the good, leading Christian Snyder. 40 car at the top of your screen, really tight off of 4. He gets into the wall, keeps it collected. Michael Good is officially going to lead a lap. Battle for the lead as Chris Snyder gets a run on the outside of Michael Good. He gets help from Joe Houston, but not quite enough to clear. Just like that, we're back to 2 wide racing here at Daytona. Lap 27, Christian Snyder trying to get a run. And I am getting word Matthew Heel will receive a post-race penalty for changing lanes before the start. On this last restart here, he changed lanes before the start-finish line. Unclear what the severity of the penalty will be. But as far as I know, and as far as I understand, the Next Era League's rule book is able to continue through the race and go for a win. As you see the 40 machine spinning out on the apron. We stay green. And they get disrupted for just a second, but it seems Chris Snyder is still retaining your lead. Michael Good might have a little bit of a run on that top side. There are quite a few cars up there, mix of lap cars and lead lap cars. And with only 3 left on the bottom, sitting right there together, it appears Michael Good is going to take the lead. He doesn't quite have Chris full clear, but as soon as he does, knowing how kind of volatile that top line has been, it might be good to get to the bottom and hold it for a little bit. Little sideways here and there. That's the 11 car Spencer Burton, 10 laps down. Staying high and out of the way. Nick Gielask and Matthew Heel all the way on the top side of the track. Matthew trying to use Nick to get up to the front, but Nick might not just be that aggressive since he is so many laps down. But that outside line reforms as Brady Motes jumps to the outside of Michael Good. He is going to get help from Chris Snyder, and Brady Motes in that 88 machine, after requesting an EOL, taking responsibility for an accident that wasn't even going to be his fault, is back to the lead at Daytona. Don't we love it when nice guys finish first? And he's up front now and just about had the 19 clear, but still had about a wheel to the corner panel now as we go through turns 3 and 4. And outside line's going to dissipate. Brady Motes, Christian Snyder going to fall back once again. Team of Jacob Gladlick is getting a little aggressive, weaving and bobbing, and actually takes himself out of the line. I don't know if that was intentional or he just kind of felt like he had nowhere to go. And 97 just about turns the 19 with the 32 of James Dewar. Arca breaks into Matthew Heel. The 19 had that collected and had that car saved, but it was, it appeared to me, the 32 of James Dewar who got in the back of Matthew Heel and caused that wreck. Let's watch the replay. Pay attention to Michael Good. This is a bad angle. I'll give you a better one. Watch Matthew Heel check up smartly, giving the 19 a lot of room. James Dewar is getting back into the gas and just runs over the 53 car. At the same time, it looked like Jared Mayo might have gotten involved. Look at this again. I mean, 97 just kind of trying to come up, get out of the way of the 19. Christian Snyder involved, Nick Gielask involved. He goes into the corner, like that car gets out from under him. The 97 does not check up for him, and he is still saving the car on the bottom line before the 32 gets in the back of the 53, ultimately taking that 19 car out. We'll look at it again. We'll look at the replay. Yeah, I do acknowledge his left front does grab the apron just a bit, but he's saving this car. He is going to save this car. He's not sideways. The 97 does not lift. You can see the 97 finally lifts just as he's making contact. You can see the flames come out of the pipes. Here comes the 53, checking up. 32, as we saw in our replay, gassed it up right into the 53 after originally checking up. That is, not a high IQ move. That's not something you should be doing when there is a wreck in front. Gassing up into the 53 caused the majority of this wreck. And then Christian Snyder got up in the Nick Gielask. The 11 of Burton is in it. Only 2 cars on the outside because that's how many cars had to take an EOL. End of the longest line due to the pit stop violations of being in there early. But the 97 of Jeff Hollingsworth trying to get a good push from Joe Houston. Try to run their way up to the lead as it's the 88 of Brady Motes still out there defending. 14 of Jacob Gladlick behind. And as they go down the backstretch, little around 30 laps left. It's Brady Mote still retaining the lead. Jacob Gladdick keeping his car clean. That's that Burger King 14 machine. Down there on the bottom. Jeff Hollingsworth is going to fill right into that hole. But now these cars are just kind of chilling a little bit. Now you can see Christian Snyder coming in. Here comes pitting Jacob Gladlick as well as Matthew Heel, Brady Motes, your lead lap cars. And look at the 14 in the grass sideways, saves it on pit road. That was absolutely absurd. But he is going to keep it together. And now we look back towards Jeff Hollingsworth, Joe Houston, and Christian Snyder. Do they go and pit now? Do they stay out another lap, try to trap those cars a lap down? It appears they will. All the way down the short chute. This is the backstretch. They go into turns 3 and 4. We'll see them run down the short chute in just a second. Do they pit now? Or do they try to stay out a lap and leapfrog the cars in front? No, here they come down pit road, 4 cars strong. We'll see if any of them have any issues. Joe Houston almost blends into the 24 car, unaware that Chris Snyder was to his outside, but it seems like they are A-OK, and now it's their turn to roll down pit road and hit their lights. In the meantime, here's Brady Motes, Matthew Heel, and James. Where is James? James is still on pit road. I wonder what must have happened. Did he really lose that much speed? Or was there an issue? Maybe I don't know if there's a penalty or what, but Jacob Gladlick is extremely off the pace in terms of the drivers he pitted with, and is going to be coming out at an awkward time. And this leaves Jeff Hollingsworth, your leader. No help behind. Joe Husson is quite a bit farther back. Here's Chris Snyder exiting pit road. There's Brady Motes driving by. Has already entered pit road. Matthew Hill behind. It looks like Chris might just miss out on the draft. Again, we're not sure. There's Joe Houston running P2. Here comes Brady Moats, much quicker than him. They're going to re-link up and going to go ahead and try to run down Jeff if they should be. Jeff alone, single car. But as Joe Houston is your leader, Brady Moats, Jeff Hollingsworth, Matthew Heel, Chris Snyder. Of course, Chris out of the picture. It is a 4-car race. With just over 20 laps to go. And just like that, they trade dancing partners. Jeff Hollingsworth and Matthew Hill, not high side, having to work together. Joe Houston, Brady Moats on the bottom. And it looks like Jeff Hollingsworth does get enough of a push from the 53 to clear and does not pull him the rest of the way around the field. He's going to leave him out to dry. And now Matthew Heel stuck on the outside alone once again. Does Brady Moats have enough to take this lead? They have a big run down the backstretch. They had help from the 14. Brady Moats is going to fall right into the lead. And once again, the 53 of Matthew Heel is left out to dry, but the 88 reclaims what was his so many laps ago to get him up towards the front. We'll see how that works out. Lap 94 out of 96. Here at round 1 of the Next Era Grand National Series Racing League. Three wide. Jeff Hollingsworth might have just got shunted out of line. He has disappeared, blinks back, but he is still right there in the mix. Here they come down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Matthew Heel gets shuffled out to the tail end of the top line. Brady Moats still leading. Jeff Hollingsworth out front on that top side, getting a push from the 33. Will it be enough? Here they come. 2 laps to go at the line, and it's Brady Moats still with the lead. Joe Husson looking to the high side. Can't quite make it. Has to check up. It's still Brady Moats leading. Jeff Hollingsworth doing everything he can to run, building that outside. The lap car, the 33 of Ricky Barbary, out there to help with Matthew Heel on the lead lap trailing. Here they come. 2 lines, 3 cars each. Down the backstretch, Jeff Hollingsworth is being scored as having the advantage, but we won't know until that very last lap when they come out of turn 4. There's Brady Moats in the bottom, still getting a push from Joe Husson. Up top, Jeff Hollingsworth still trying to get that outside line rolling. They don't quite have the speed advantage. The 33 car and the 53 believed to have quite a bit of damage, resulting in a little bit of a slower car. But Jeff Hollingsworth is still doing all he can to get that outside line up there to the front. But Brady Moats has been in control the entire race long. It is 1 lap to go. The final lap, Brady Moats gets pushed out of the way by Joe Husson. I don't know what happened to Brady Moats. It seemed as if he just lost speed, and Joe continued to push down the backstretch. But what that has done has left Jeff Hollingsworth, your leader, right in front of Joe Husson. 2 lap cars, and then Matthew Heel. Here they come out of turn 4. Joe Husson following Jeff Hollingsworth down the short chute, across the stripe, on the front stretch. Does Joe Husson have him? Oh, it's a photo finish. I don't even know. I don't know who had it at the line. Jeff Hollingsworth is being scored your leader, but I have no clue. That was a photo finish. Better than the prelude, better than the opener. And the 97 is being scored your leader. Let's take a look at that replay in a second. In slow-mo, look at Joe Husson Run on the top. Jeff Hollingsworth, the 97, down low. And as they come to the line, I mean, it is just barely Jeff Hollingsworth's race. Absolutely stunning. Jeff Hollingsworth on the front stretch. We're going to go ahead and get him pulled up into the call and interview our winner. Jeff, this is Noah up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man.
Well, Jeff, tell us about that final lap from your perspective there.
Well, I knew they were going to dump me, but I got a teammate, Ricky Barbary, there, and I knew he was laps down, but I knew he would push me, and his car was good, man, and couldn't have done it without him when they split me 3 wide. He just got me right through the middle. It was awesome, so I'm happy about that.
All righty, well, you drove that car pretty well. You were always up there in contention. You're one of the fastest in the league. The margin of victory, according to my eye overlay, is just .00. I don't know what you could tell me over there on the iRacing side where you guys have more numbers to work with. But did you know that you won the race when you crossed the stripe, or were you unsure?
I wasn't sure till we got cross and it filtered all the cars that were like in the pits and whatnot through, and I had the one beside my name, so it was really close. When he got to that outside, I thought he was going to get me there.
All righty, well, congratulations, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth. Have fun down there in Victory Lane.
Yeah, appreciate you. Shout out to my team, Old Guys Rule, Disabled American Veterans, Purple Heart Homes, Mission 22, and the U.S. Coast Guard. And we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. See you next week, Jeff.